What's up, people? Of course here, coming at you with another Roko video. Today we're going to be looking at every perk in the game, and we're going to be ranking them from D tier all the way up to S tier. Make sure to put your top 5 perks down in the comment section, and let's go ahead and jump right into it. We're going to start off with the D tier, and we're going to throw 6 cents into the D tier. Now, this is a perk that they're thinking about either reworking or throwing out of the game altogether. It basically allows you to be aware of anybody who has eyes on you within 25 meters. It's not very good, especially for 10,000 bucks. And even when you do use it correctly, it kind of takes away from the spirit of the game. You need to have map awareness, and you need to be communicating with your team, and that's how you should know that people have eyes on you or have an angle on you. So definitely a D tier. Now, the second one we're going to put here is going to be shredder rounds. This basically allows you to do extra damage to equipment. Works very well against like Anvil, but other than that, not really useful. And even for Anvil's shield, it's still not really worth the money. It also gives you some extra ammunition, but definitely probably one that you should pass on in most cases. So moving on to the C tier, we're going to start off with Berserker. Now, Berserker isn't a bad perk at all. If you have the extra cash, it's not one that's bad to pick up. Berserker basically allows you to reload while you are running, which is all good. That can come in handy a lot. You know, you're moving away from somebody's fire, they're following you, you go ahead and reload while you're running, turn the corner, and just lay them out. So it can be useful, but take it when you think that you need it or you have the extra funds for sure. Next up, I'm going to put tracker rounds. Tracker rounds would be higher up on the list if it wasn't 10k. It's a little too expensive for what it does. Basically, whenever you hit somebody with your bullet, or hit somebody in general, I suppose, you basically highlight them for your teammates. So it can be very good, but for 10k, I don't think it's worth that. You can spend that money on perks that are going to help you a little bit more, especially when you have communication. This kind of takes away the usefulness of tracker rounds, right? So maybe if you're playing with a team that doesn't have comms, it will be useful, but other than that, not really worth the 10k. Now, the last perk that we're going to put here is going to be Tenacity. Now, Tenacity is an interesting one. Tenacity basically is going to reduce the amount of explosive damage that you take by roughly 50% or so. My math could be a little bit off, but basically it can save you from like Demon's Grenade or getting a frag grenade thrown right on your noggin, even Ronin's ballistic knife. So in certain situations you can use it, but it's definitely C tier because it's not a perk that you're going to be consistently picking up. It's very situational. Now, moving on up to the B tier, we're going to start off with Cloak. Cloak is basically going to keep you from being revealed on the map. This is very good. This ability is going to make it to where the enemy team gets less information about where you are and where your team is in general. So not a bad perk at all. The reason I have it in B tier is because it's one of those perks that you may pick up, you may not pick up. If the enemy team has a Talon or a Dallas, you're probably going to grab it, but sometimes you don't even see those rogues. So it's very situational for when you will use it, which is why I put it in the B tier, but it definitely is worth it when the situation arises. Now, the next one we're going to put up here is going to be Evasion. Now, Evasion is an interesting one. Basically, whenever you get hit by a bullet, you are able to get like a small movement increase. Now, this one right here can come in handy, especially in those tough gunfights where you get caught out or something like that. It gives you that extra boost you need to go ahead and get out of dodge. It also pairs very well with Berserker, so those two do play well off each other. Definitely a B tier perk. I definitely wouldn't take this over some of the A tier and S tier perks that I'm going to show you here in a second. Now, the last thing that we're going to put over here in the B tier is going to be Stalker. Now, Stalker is another one of those that is very situational. It depends on how you're playing. If you're playing Phantom, Stalker is going to be just the most valuable thing you can have, right? To not have a movement penalty while aiming down sights is kind of a big deal. Now, for other rogues, it can also be a big deal as well, depending on your playstyle. If you like to sit back and kind of aim and kind of strafe, this is going to be a perk that you can take and that will be beneficial to you. But for some people, it's not one that you really find necessary. So, B tier perk for sure. It can be A or S depending on who you're playing. I'm actually going to put one more perk down here in the B tier. We're actually going to throw ahead, and we're going to go ahead and throw Padded Step into the B tier as well. Now, I debated putting this one A or B tier, and realistically it probably floats somewhere like in between A and B. Padded Step, basically, as long as you're not full sprinting, it mutes your footsteps. Now, early on in the game, this was very powerful because people weren't really watching their flanks that well. Nowadays, not so much. People are pretty wise on watching their flank and trying to pay attention to where people are coming from. So it can have a big benefit, and being silent when you're kind of jogging is a big deal. But keep that in mind when you're playing against coordinated teams. It might not be as effective as you think. Now, moving on up to A tier, we're going to start it off with Nimble Hand. Nimble Hand is one of those perks that I didn't respect when the game first came out, but now I can't live without it. Being able to swap your weapons faster, being able to reload your weapons faster can be the difference between winning a fight and losing a fight. So this perk right here is definitely valuable, especially if you're playing somebody like Phantom, right? Sniper, swap, pistol, pistol. So, I mean, you're going to get so much value out of this one, and it's definitely worth the little 6,500 that you have to pay for it. Next, we're going to go ahead and throw Headstrong up here. Headstrong basically gives you an additional 25 health. You basically put on body armor, and then you get that little blue bar. So that's all that really needs to be said about this. You get extra health, which is always good. That means you can take one extra shot. You know what I'm saying? So awesome perk. Definitely not an S tier, but definitely A tier. Now we're going to go ahead and move up to Bounce Back. Bounce Back is very strong because basically it allows you to get your to recover faster, right? So when you get hit by a couple of shots, takes you down to 20 health, you know, it takes time for you to recover. Bounce Back is going to make that recovery time quicker, so you can get back into the fight even faster. Super invaluable, especially when you're playing against a team that has like a good Phantom. Having this will cancel out her grievous wounds, which allows you to be at least on par, right? So very good perk. Definitely don't sleep on it. The last one that I think I want to put in the A tier is going to be Helping Hand. Helping Hands, I know some people might think that this one's like a B or a C, but being able to revive your teammates is a big deal, especially now that we have Dahlia in the game, and alongside Saint, of course, who is also great with. It's going to be even more valuable now because you're going to be able to get people up so quickly. So having Helping Hands, getting your teammates up, keeping it a 4v4, or, you know, maybe if you trade, you can get your teammate up. Making it a 4v3 is going to be invaluable for playing against like ranked or high tier teams. So keep that in mind with Helping Hand. And then for the finale here, S tier, we're going to go ahead and start it off with Life Drain. Life Drain is one of the best perks in the game, hands down. Being able to get your health back when you down people is such a big deal because it allows you to stay in the fight. You know, like if you down somebody and their teammate hits that corner, you're going to be regenerating your health, which means you actually have a chance to go ahead and slay out again. Now, if you pair this with Replenish, what some rogues do, like Chalk and Dima, Replenish is going to allow you to reload your clip automatically when you down somebody. So you pair these two together, you get health back, you get your bullets back, and you just keep on shooting. Very good perk, definitely a top tier perk. Now, the last perk that I'm going to put up here is the new one, Lifeline. This allows you to revive your teammates faster, and on top of that, you get they get their health back quicker, right? So their recovery time is even faster, or it starts immediately. So very big deal here. This is going to be like a game changer for Rogue Company because it makes enemy teams have to be more aggressive, or they know that you're going to get back up, you're going to get back into the fight. So very powerful perk, good at putting pressure on the team, good at keeping your team kind of at the advantage. So this is my tier list. As I said in the beginning of the video, make sure to put your top 5 down there and let me know what perks you think are the best in the game. As always, people, I'm going to plug my job form. Make sure to send me some clips of you slaying out in Rogue Company. I want to go ahead and showcase people in the community, especially smaller content creators who are trying to get their name out there. I will do that. This isn't no scam. I'm not going to charge you anything like that. I'm going to put you up. I'm going to put your name on there, and that's it. You know, show what you can do. Also, if you haven't done so already, consider using me as your supporter creator. Horse of Course 1, link in the description. I appreciate all the people who have already done it. Thank you so much. People, drop a like on this video, subscribe for more daily Rogue Company, and that'll be it for us today. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. This is Horse of Course. Peace, 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 peace.